speaker. He is, well, for the better part of 2 decades, he was the best linebacker in the National Football League. He's going to go down as one of the best linebackers of all time in the National Football League, like ever. And there's been some great linebackers. Jack Lambert, Dick Butkus, Ray Lewis. He belongs in that conversation. He's a 13-time Pro Bowler, a 10-time All-Pro. Twice he was NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a future Hall of Famer for sure. Let's make some noise for Mr. Ray Lewis.
Thank you so much. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is my first time in Utah. Yeah. Utah has to be one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. So this won't be my last time here. You know, it's funny because I don't like sugarcoating too much, right? It's like if life was to end right now, how would you be remembered? Like, how will somebody think about you? Every footstep that's ever taken while you've been on this earth is accounted for and will be counted one day. We all got to face Judgment Day one day. So I found out very early in life, there are no breaks in life. You can't, there's no, it's one cliche that it bothers me the most when we talk about fitness, because you always hear people talk about, I need to get in shape. Let's change that. Let's stop getting in shape and let's stay in shape. That's one thing about me and my battles, one-on-one battles in any gridiron. I never had to prepare for my opponent. My opponent had to prepare for me. I was willing to go places in my mind that I can promise you too many people on this earth won't go. Now, it was birthed through pain. So I won't tell everybody to challenge themselves that way. My greatest pain I've ever had in my entire life, I'm 39 years old. I'll be 40 in 3 weeks. And for the first time in my life, 33 years old, 39, 33. And the first time I actually had a chance to meet my father. And it bothered me so much because I used to look at myself in the mirror sometimes and say, I know I'm who I am. I never asked to be here. But Dad, I'm good. Come check on me. Now the question remains on why inside of me there was a burn that has never stopped burning. There was a grind that I made up in my mind. The first time I fell on my knees, I'll never forget it. I'm praying as I'm falling on my knees, and I was a junior deacon early, and I fell on my knees, and the first time I heard God's voice, he said, can you hear me now? But I'm asking to hear Daddy's voice. Every Christmas, I'm sitting at Christmases with a bag packed. I got a t-shirt in the bag and one pair of jeans. I got a toothbrush but no toothpaste. And I'm saying, Daddy got to come today. Daddy got to come this Christmas. Daddy never came. Daddy never came. So I had a decision to make at a very early age. Would I fold or would I make up my mind to be remembered forever? I made up my mind to be remembered forever. There's somebody sitting in this audience that has one thing to do. The moment you leave here, make up in your mind that I'm a different person. Make up in your mind that there's something way greater than me. I don't chase money because I can burn it. Anything that man make, I don't put too much into it because I can't take it with me. But one thing I can tell you, I do every single day of my life is I try to find somebody else to change their life so they know that God is real. That they know when you really figure out what Scripture really stands for, when you really figure out what BIBLE stands for, basic instructions before leaving earth, yeah, we'll pick up every book. We'll read all these authors' books, and there are some great books out there. We'll read every book. But raise your hand in your heart. You don't got to raise them in front of people. You don't. Raise it in your heart on how many people have actually, regardless of religion, have took the time to read that book from cover to cover. Me and you, I did it 5. I'm on 5 right now, missus. She read it 3 times. And the only thing I learned by reading this book is we control our own destiny. He says, I will never forsake you. Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No weapon. So me as a child, starting to understand that. Man, listen, competition, I just told baby boy this. You my new inspiration, I'm telling you that. Because I tried to tell him something. No pain lasts always. No pain. But when you really want to compete with somebody in life, don't compete with nobody else but yourself. That's who I compete with every day of my life. Everybody asks me now, do I miss the game? If I miss the game, I cheated it. And I can promise you 9 surgeries later, I ain't cheat the game. I paid a healthy price for the game. But there's a new day and age. Over 70% of America is obese. Over 70%. There's another 83% of kids who's obese in America. How? That's humanly impossible. Unless we don't have a guideline. Unless we wake up every day without a vision. The good book says, write the vision and make it plain. See, it's a lot of things, it's a lot of stories I can give you, but I want to give you something that you can take home and practice every day. I do it every second of my life. I recite our Father's Prayer 25 to 30 times a day. Because sometimes I hate praying selfish prayers. Lord, bless me to get this deal. Lord, bless me to get this job. Lord, I'm meeting with these people today. Lord, I just need. Well, so regardless of religion, I'm talking about being a better person. I walked in the National Football League in 1995, 1996. And I'll never forget, I had to listen to a man tell me who I was that never met me. I had to sit next to my grandmother, rest in peace, and I heard a man say, I work with the man now, but I heard a man tell me that, and had never met me, he will never make it in the National Football League. He is too small, he is too short, and there's no way he can survive in the National Football League. And I looked at my grandmama, I looked at my mom, I said, Mama, he's never met me. How can he determine that? Mama told me a long time ago, be careful to put your trust in man. Then I met that guy. And I said, you know who I am? He said, yeah, I know who you are. I said, you sure you know who I am? Because it seems you just speaking about what you think you know. My greatest motivation, if you went on my wall in my room, on every wall in my room, is everything that every person bad has ever said about me. It's always been my motivation. Because I have the chance to do something that the world does not give us a lot. I get to do it while you're watching me. My haters, The people who say what I can't do, they got to sit in front of a television and watch me do what I do. That's why I'm telling you, my baby boy just say, well, you're going to do the dance tonight. I try to do it sometimes, but I stay away from it. Because that's a warrior mentality. Because when I came out and I did that dance, the switch is on. And if I give you one secret, if a giant is sleeping, let him sleep. Don't ever wake up a sleeping giant. And that's what started to happen. I started to wake myself up to realize in 1999, 2000, 2001, I said, you know what? Football will one day leave. I will one day be done with football. So that's why I stopped training for football. I started training for a lifestyle. That's why there's nothing I have not entertained. There's no sport. There's no exercise that I have not entertained. How many people in this room believe in muscle confusion? By raise your hands. Muscle confusion, right? So a lot of people in fitness believe in muscle confusion. But I believe longevity in life is found in muscle endurance. That's the difference. No disrespect to nobody who has a CrossFit program. It's great for a short amount of time. I can shred you real quick. But I can promise you 20, 30 years down the road, them joints gonna hurt from that. That's why some of the most consistent workouts, running, cycling, swimming, yoga, since the beginning of time. Why? Because you can do it repetitive. You can become consistent in it. I cycle so much right now. And you know, one thing I learned about cycling, it's never about the pedal that I'm putting down. It's about the next one. And it's about the next one. And it's about the next one. Because it's consistency. So when 18-year-olds, I got it about 2006, 2007, getting towards my 9th, 10th year, you hear people say, well, you know, he may be losing a step. He may be losing a step. Once again, I love to hear my haters talk. And I'm saying to myself, from the outside, you're saying I'm losing a step, but the person that's competing against me, he can't sleep at night. He got a lot of things on his mind. When he get on that plane and know he coming to Baltimore, or if I'm on a plane, know I'm coming to a city, I got one thing on my mind. Who in front of me? I don't even worry about the scoreboard. The scoreboard is irrelevant. Somebody's designed to block me. Man, that's humanly impossible. I done lost. I think the thing that really kept me getting back up is because I lost so many times. Man, I lost so many times. I lost early too. I lost so many times. And I kept saying every time I would lose, I would wonder that when people would beat me, they wouldn't even race me again for about 2 years. They wouldn't wrestle me for about 5 years. And so people would run away from competition. But I used to like losing when I was younger. Because when I was losing, I was learning something. And that's what I'm trying to teach us about the body, about fitness, about really understanding who we are as human beings. We have a duty to take care of this. This is the only thing you got that I promise you money can't bring you back from, no matter how much you ever make in life. That's why they say the saddest thing in this world, the hardest thing in this world is for a rich man to get into, is to get into heaven. Because his mind is on his money, and your mind should be on your body. Because that's where your money is. And more importantly, that's where your peace is. Man, every second, I don't put nothing in this. D. Ryan here somewhere, the founder of this. Give her applause for Dylan, wherever he's at. This is one of the greatest shows I've been connected to. And he saw me yesterday coming in the airport, and I'm not supposed to meet nobody like this. But I'm coming in the airport, and I eat so clean. I promise I eat clean. And I ate some ravioli on the plane yesterday, and it tore up my stomach so bad. I met Dylan like this. I was like, man, how you doing? I said, I got to go to my room. I said, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And you know what ended up happening? I figured out I disturbed my system. I disturbed what this looked like. I disturbed what this feels like. Take a car. You don't change the oil in a car, it ain't moving too often. You want to change the gas in your car to a different gas, you got to get rid of every inch of gas that you got in that tank before you replace it with new gas. The body is the exact same way. We're piling foods and toxins on top of each other, and we never go through cleanses. I'm cleansing myself day in and day out because I want my mind clear enough to see when the opportunity comes that I can possibly save somebody's life. The greatest thing you can hear, and everybody in this audience know the people who walked up to me and simply told me I changed their life. Do we understand how serious that is? When you can change a person's life. When a young kid can look at you and say, you my hero because of the lifestyle you live. We don't have a choice, even when we think we got a choice. The choice is simple now. I lost 5 matriarchs in the last 4 years. I lost 5 to bad eating and lack of education about the body. And one of the saddest things, my grandmother, she was on the hospital bed, and she's laying there, and she said to me, I'm not dying until you win the Super Bowl again. And I said, you gonna stay around that long? Well, then if that's the case, I'm gonna go ahead and win it. And I'm sitting there and I whispered in her ear, all the money in the world I got, I can't bring you back. I can't change the engine again. I can't give you no new liver. I can't change your kidney system. I can't do none of that, no matter how much money I got. I couldn't touch my grandmama. I couldn't write a check and say, here, cure this. I couldn't. So the only chances that we really got in life, it's not about a game. A game for me, I just used it. That's what God says it's for. I'll give you a platform in the presence of your enemies. And it's what you do with that platform. And everybody in this room, this day, can have a real change on somebody's life by the way you live your own life. Ain't about changing everybody else. Ain't about trying to change the world. Let's change the world one person at a time. With yourself. Kids, listen, my kids know I don't play. Daddy cool, but it's a couple things I don't play with. Don't indulge in things and abuse things just because you can. Don't have a pantry full of sweets and indulge in sweets all night long. I mean, I had my middle son, he drinking strawberry milkshakes 12 o'clock at night. But he talking about he want abs. It don't match. It don't match. And then his little brother pull up his abs. He's like, he got a washboard. Boy, let me wash my clothes on your abs. You know, so what's starting to happen is, when I got out of the game, I always said I would never go back. I always said I would never slow down while I was in the game. Because I was that pissed off. Oh my gosh, if you knew what competition did to me, still to this day, but I compete with myself now. So I don't got to compete with nobody else. I was looking at other men who had 2 legs just like I had, and I'm looking at them saying, man, ain't no way you can beat me. I'm watching you. I'm texting half of them because I became a father figure to a lot of them. So I'm texting them. Some of them telling me they're coming from Popeye's chicken. Some of them telling me they're coming from Wendy's and McDonald's. And I'm laying in the bed with fish, broccoli, ginger tea, and I'm sitting there saying, how the hell you gonna beat me? You finna play against me in 10 hours. Ain't no way you gonna have fuel in the 4th quarter to beat me. How? But when you think about why I changed the game, I didn't change the game for the game, because the game's still going. I changed the game because I wanted to be healthy when the game was done. Man, I done had so many car wrecks. Last time I checked, I had, oh my gosh, I promise you, I had over about 2,800 car wrecks. Because every time you tackle somebody, that's a car wreck. Don't let nobody fool you. Y'all, y'all, look, y'all looking from the TV side like, ooh, he a beast. That hurt. That hurt. Every time I hit somebody, it hurt. And then once it started to hurt and started to pop elbows and started to blow out shoulders. In 2005, I popped my hamstring from the bone, and I'm starting to realize, why? Did I do something wrong? Am I in the wrong? Is my aura bad? Like what changed? And then I started to realize every surgery, I don't care who going through whatever surgery I've ever been through, there's not one mistake ever made. God don't make too many mistakes. He's never made one mistake. But there's a window of 6 months most of the time. The first time I tore my shoulder, tore my labrum, everything from the bone, I had 6 months to recover and isolate my mind for 6 months. How many people in here for 6 months can put down your phone, can put down technology, can disappear from the world, program everybody else that's around you that if you're who you really are, you got to put the right people around you to make sure when you're going through recovery, you're actually recovering. So when I came out of surgeries, man, I've never been so strong in my life. Because I started to understand why sometimes when the body breaks down, that's why we go back to muscle endurance. People deal with muscle confusion. I deal with muscle endurance. 2001, as soon as I popped my freaking thumb, I broke my thumb in the game, I went off, and I haven't done it since. So this is for everybody. I haven't squatted since 1995, last time I left college. That was the last time I put weight on my back. Some people can't get away with that. You know why? Because coaches like to put that up on their board. But I had to have a conversation with my weight training coach and say, you want me to chase people down, or you want me to go into the bodybuilding business? That's the choice you make. So I never put weight back on my back anymore. So I went to sand. And so I started training in the sand. Less resistance, no pounding. Every step you hit is pure resistance. But every time you come up, you got to be ready to go. So now when I'm training, I'm in the freaking sand. I'm running 30 and 40 miles in the sand. Sun up to sun down sometimes. I'm calling people to pick me up because I'm too far from home. I can't get home this time. I did that many times too. But that's what started to happen when I started to understand why endurance was so important for the body. Longevity for the body. If you can take care of the body when you're younger, the body will take care of you when you get older. That's the formula to the body. That's the formula to life. Whatever you put in the body, that's what the body's going to put out. That's why a lot of young kids in sports today are only around for a short time. Because it's different now. And so it's going to take a special young kid, a special ones with the eye of the tiger in their eye to do what I did years ago. I saw what the majority of the people was doing, and I did the opposite. I stopped drinking in 2001. I ain't been to a club in over 17 years. I don't party. I don't do none of that. Because I had something on my mind. I had something I really wanted to do. Now, I have occasion I have a glass of wine over food, if I do that. But it's what I don't like to feel like. It's a new step in life now. If you pay attention, this is why I think I came here today. This is why I think I came here today. You know? We can't not voice what's really going on. We losing. We losing in America. We losing. Too many cancers are bothering us now. Too many random diseases is coming up on us, man. Please, if you don't do nothing else for your life, if you don't do nothing else for your children, Be the example that you can live and eat right. Be the example that you don't got to hang out all times of night. Be the example that you know what, every time you see me, I'm going to be better than you saw me the last time. That's the only reason I get up every day of my life. And now I figured out one of the greatest secrets ever. I never knew yoga was so successful. I never knew why yoga was about. I got into it about 3 years before my career was over. But you know what I found out now? Meditating the mind on what the mind can do to the freaking body is amazing. That's where we are. I don't care about brawn no more. Listen, this is for all athletes. When you're playing the game, play the game for you. And I promise you, your teammates will follow you. Because leaders, before they become leaders, they're servants. That's what leaders are. You can't lead without serving. And until you serve yourself, you'll never understand what leading means. Because many people going to give up on you along the way. Many people going to tell you what you can do and what you can't do along the way. Many things going to be in the way to slow you down from what you're ultimately trying to do. And when you make up your mind to go get it done, man, ain't a devil in hell that can slow you down. It's facts. It's facts. The only reason this many people come together, let's just be honest. The only reason this many people come together nowadays, well, you probably get a concert every now and then. But I'm talking about, when do we actually share enough education with each other that when you pass by somebody, you're sharing knowledge? Knowledge is to be gained, then passed, not to be kept. If every smart man kept all the knowledge he had, we wouldn't be worth nothing. I tell young kids nowadays, I tell my kids the most, be careful with social media. Great tool to get anything you want to get done. But I asked my daughter this the other day, if you spent more time on your body than you spent on social media, you can do anything you want to do in life. It's me. Social media to me, I love saying things that I believe. Social media to me is the devil's playhouse. We've given him an opportunity at too many pure people. We've given them a voice that once didn't have a voice. So now our voice got to be the way I walk. My voice got to be the way I talk. My voice got to be how my posture stands up high. And not because of what I'm trying to do, because of what I'm doing. That's why we're here, D. That's why we're here today. Because somebody got to walk up out of here a changed person today. Not because of me, but in spite of me. What's your name? Say it. Julian. How old are you? 11? You play football? You play sports? What you play? Okay. You love it? Why you love it? Cause it's fun. Yeah, you can tell you're a child. Yeah, it's fun to you. Leave you with this. How old are you, 11? 1985, 10 years old. Went to my room one time, raised in a very domestic violent home. Stepfather beat me and my mom up real bad that night. Couldn't find no peace. Couldn't rest. I go to my room because I had to live in the garage. Couldn't live in the same house, too much testosterone. He told me I couldn't stay in the same house with my family. I went to the garage one night. I picked up a deck of cards. I went up under my bed and I'm crying. I'm bleeding. I'm going through it, everything. I ain't got nobody to call. I took a deck of cards. I flipped them over. I done 6 push-ups. I took a jack, queen, king. I done 10. I flipped the ace. I done 25. I flipped the joker over. I done 50. I still carry those deck of cards, Julian. And I'm 39 now. I never got away from recognizing what pain feels like. I made up in my mind that no pain lasts always. Man, I went through those deck of cards. I started doing push-ups. I came back. I shuffled them again. I started doing sit-ups, and now I carry 3 decks. Every second of my life. I left the hotel room. I had to take 2 showers because I'm starting over again. All I'm trying to give kids is stop taking too many breaks. There are no breaks. I took one break in my life. Our back against the wall. We're in the Super Bowl against the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm looking at first down, second down, third down, fourth down. And I looked at every one of my warriors beside me. And I said, I don't need no heroes. I just need one play. I need everybody to be their best for one play. And for the rest of my life, I live as a champion. That's all I need. Now, if you go back to October 7th, I'm playing the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, here y'all go. Cowboys. Okay. Y'all been suffering a long time. Okay. I'm a Cowboy fan too. I'm sitting there, we're playing the Cowboys. I done prepared. I drop back. I'm looking at Romo. I'm saying, he gonna throw it. Just pick up your hands and pick it. I second guess myself. Something you don't do in this game. I didn't put my hands up. But when I finally put them up, it was too late. And when I came down, my arm came down on the Dallas Cowboy helmet, and I snapped my tricep from the bone. And from the moment I snapped it, I said, I can't believe that. I can't believe that I'm hurt. There's a difference of pain and injury. I can deal with any pain, but it's hard to defeat injury without costing your team. I stayed on the field 12 more plays until I finally realized that the young running back come through the hole, and I said, if I don't get in the way, he gonna score and we lose. But I got a torn tricep from the bone. And when he hit me, I said, just roll with him. Just make the play. I rolled and ran to the sideline. The doctor grabbed the back of my arm and felt the divot. And Dr. Curl started crying. I said, Doc, why you crying? She said, because I never thought your career end like this. I said, Doc, you can't serve the same master I serve. I said, man believes in the possible. God believes in the impossible. I said, I guarantee you we go win the Super Bowl this year. She said, Ray, I don't think you're hearing me. I said, well, say it again. This is a real conversation. I said, well, say it again, Doc. She said, your tricep is pulled from the bone. I said, meet me in the office in the morning, and then we'll get an MRI. Then you tell me what my fate is. I met her in the MRI room. I walked into it. Can I use this piece of paper? I'll use this piece of paper. I walked in. She gave me my MRI. She said, look at all this white. See this white? She said, you see this roll? This way your tricep rolled up. I said, you through? I said, can I get my MRI? She said, what you better do? I said, I got to go. I got a flight to catch. I got an appointment in Miami at my college doctor, Dr. Uribe. I walked in the office. Dr. Uribe looked at me and said, please tell me you're not about to do what I think you're about to do. I said, Doc, I ain't got no other choice. He said, Ray, do you realize if I repair this tricep and you come back, you may never be able to use that arm again? I said, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Because I believe in something greater. That year, God had already showed me we was going to the Super Bowl. I'm on that goal line. And nobody knows this because the night before that game, I'm in my hotel room at 3 o'clock a.m. in the morning. And I had to get on the freaking floor because my arm went numb. I had no feeling in my arm. I sat on the bed. I took shoestrings from my shoes. I ain't going to get emotional because I done been through it already. I took shoestrings and I tied it to a sprinkler and I connected it to pull my arm. And I slept the rest of the night sitting on the side of the floor with my arm up in the sky because I couldn't use it. But I couldn't walk in my locker room and tell my players that I was hurt. I couldn't tell my city in the greatest battle ever that one of the greatest warriors couldn't do it. because of pain. And I stepped in there, and this San Francisco 49er player said to me, he said, man, we gonna beat y'all. I said, boy, you don't even know. This so much bigger than you. We on the goal line, man. And nobody realizes I'm a numbers person. I love numbers. 5'2", 52, my number. 5 is favor. 5 and 2 together is 7. I played 17 years. 7 plus 1 is new beginnings. But I played in Super Bowl 47. I'm on the yard line, on the 4-yard line. 4 downs to go. 4 and 4 is 8 new beginnings. I said first down pass by. It's the first time in my career that my entire career flashed in front of my eyes. I can tell you everything I've ever been through in 30 seconds, because that's what I went through that fast. They ran the ball the first play. I shot in, and as soon as I shot in, the whole arm went numb. I looked at my players, I said, give me one play. Couldn't let nobody know I was hurting. Give me one play. Give me one play. Give me one play. And I'm going to tell you the favor they done us. And it's just the way life is. I didn't have to do nothing. As great as my career was, I didn't have to do nothing. They threw the ball every play. They threw the ball every play. Haloti Ngata is out of the game. Who's the best defensive lineman? The middle linebacker got a torn tricep. Frank Gore is in the backfield, and you don't run the ball 3 times. I run it 8 times. Back to the point. Seattle Seahawks last year, the Super Bowl. 1 yard line. 1 yard line. So the thing I want us to hone in on is decisions can sometimes dictate your fate. Decisions on why you take care of your body. So you are prepared for that moment. That ball went over my head. 4th down in San Fran in New Orleans. And I'm watching that ball go down. And I'm walking back and I looked at Ed Reed and I said to Ed, I said, man, nobody don't know. The game is cool, but I get to put up my cleats. That's it. That's it, man. I did it. I did it. And you know what I did? I did it my way. I did it my way. And today, I need somebodies to change their attitude in life and do it their way. I need a young man to make in mind very early that I want to be great. I need an elder to make sure yes ma'am and no ma'am is still being used. If we don't go back to these basic principles, I believe we lose. That's my belief. And back to my first time ever taking a break. That was the first time I ever took a break. That's the only break I could ever take. Because I got a city that has rolled on my back for 17 plus years. I cannot thank you, D, I cannot thank you enough for this opportunity. Really. I love the mix of people. I love everybody coming from so many different backgrounds and everybody so many different things. And I met so many awesome people. And you know, one thing, you know, I love gifts. And just to receive this gift, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's the new message. That's the new message. So Utah, I cannot, honestly, I cannot thank you guys enough for letting me share a little piece of my journey. I always like to leave people with a real thought, you know. And that is, if you had a choice to make all the money in the world, would you trade it for one life? For changing one life? 30 days, 45 days. Every kid is looking for it. Every adult is craving it. Change somebody's life. Change somebody's life. Invest in changing somebody's life. And 9 times out of 10 it starts with the body. Mind, body, spirit. 3-part being. Mind, body, spirit. And you can't feed one without the other. Or you're going to be totally off balance. Let's get back on balance. And I'm excited that I'm done with the game now, because now I get to see the game and I get to see life from a totally different perspective. And the way I see life now, I'm telling you, the way I see life now, I never knew life existed this way. I'll give you a 10-second story. Every city I ever went to, I was pissed off at the people. I was pissed off at the hotel, the food, everything. You know how many times I hate going to Pittsburgh? Ain't nothing in Pittsburgh. You know? They got me going to Pittsburgh. I got to go to Green Bay. Ain't nothing in Green Bay. I don't know if y'all done been to Green Bay. Who? I ain't know about going to no Dallas. I ain't talking about no Dallas. Look, but before I leave, because I wanted to do this. D, I'm okay with time, right? I wanted to do this because a lot of times, you know, as speakers, as pastors, as mentors, as leaders, one thing that we do when we come out to crowds is we always dictate the message. We always give you everything we got, right? So let's take the next 3 to 5 minutes, take a few, I really like to hear the beat of the crowd. Some kid, somebody wants to ask a question. And whatever that question is, take your time, ask the question, and then we'll get up out of here. Yeah, please. Yeah. Feet planted in the ground, right?
Isaiah 6, verse 8.
Feet are planted in the ground. Who shall I send?
Send me.
Right. Send me. Next question. Good one. Any other questions? Yeah, please.
How do you think that you guys won that game in Denver, that final crazy game? I went to that game.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be your last game ever played. I had to be there.
I saw some signs said that too. I saw a lot of signs in the stand said, this is Ray Lewis' last game. And I saw it. I said, for real? So I wear another necklace. Isaiah 54:17. At halftime, I asked my coach, I said, I just need the team to recite this 3 times together, that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. It may form. The kickoff return might go back the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Peyton might throw a touchdown. I get so tired of Peyton, Lord. I get so tired of Peyton. I done saw Peyton so many times, Lord Jesus. And I'm sitting there, and when we get the ball back, we intercept the ball. If you ever go back and watch that film, I want you to watch what give me no credit. I was a student in doing what I was supposed to do, and that was empower my team to not fret, to not doubt, to not run from this moment. So when that ball went in the air, some people play the game for wins and losses. I play the games for moments. And that moment in Ravens history will be forever. Good question. Yeah, good question. Yeah, baby, come on. Talk loud for me.
You're my inspiration, and I'm sure like millions of other people, and I'm wondering who's your inspiration?
Who's my inspiration?
Yeah.
My mama. My mom, You know, and this is to all mothers. You know, I think it's so much that we don't know that mothers do for us, right? It's so much that mothers keep from us, mothers hide from us, because it's some pains and it's some things that they endure that they could never explain to us. And I saw my mom. That's why that's my best friend, because I saw my mom as a child. I saw her go through things, and I used to always ask my mom, I was like, Mom, how you keep going? Like, how you, what? Like, why won't you give up? You know? And my mom never gave up, man. You know, and I'm a byproduct of her, man. My mom, that's why every Sunday for me, just to be, you've heard me in many articles, every Sunday for me became Mother's Day for me. Everything I did was for my mom. Absolutely. Great question. Yeah, great question. Yeah, please. My philosophy on life, honestly, wow. See, my philosophy on life is very simple. Yeah, every second of your life, you should try to find a different way to affect someone else's life. Yeah, my life is, at the end of the day, we will all one day become irrelevant, right? And the only thing that will be relevant is who you touched while you had the chance to. Yeah. Good question. Good question. Oh my gosh. You are so cute. What's up?
What's your favorite moment?
Now, that's a good question. What was my favorite moment? One of my favorite moments, honestly, is the day I came back from my injury. I was out 8 weeks. I was out 12 weeks with my torn tricep. And to walk in Baltimore Stadium and to feel what that crowd felt when I walked back on that field, man, I got chills through my head right now. Because I don't think you will ever understand that feeling. That was my greatest moment. That was one of my greatest moments. Good stuff. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Do I have any regrets? Not one. Seriously. Yeah, I believe we make decisions, we make choices, and don't look back. Don't look back, you know, because if I had changed anything along the way, I wouldn't be standing here right now as the man that I really am. Right? So I wouldn't change nothing. Everything I've ever been through, everybody I've ever lost, every pain I've ever been through, I'm okay with it. I'm really okay with it. Yes, ma'am. Great question. Great question. Wow.
On your last Super Bowl, I was in the Republic of Korea, and I woke up at 6 a.m. to go watch the Super Bowl. I had to go to 3 different places just so I can see this. Well, when you finally won that Super Bowl, what did you tell your teammates when you got in the locker room?
Oh, wow. You want me to tell you something that's even more special? I think it was what I told every one of my kids. You know, we walked in the locker room, and oh my gosh, I have 6 beautiful kids. I have 4 kings, I got 2 queens. My oldest is 20, my youngest is 14. And when I walked in that locker room, they all came around, oh my gosh, and I'm sitting there in my locker, and don't do it. And I'm sitting there in my locker, and I'm trying to hold my tears from falling. And I looked at my kids, and I said, this is when you start something. Finish it. Finish what you start, man. And that's what, I wanted my kids to see Daddy, because they didn't know what Daddy went through. They didn't know how bad Daddy was really hurting. And for me to sit on that stool, man, you trying to touch an emotional side of me right now. I'm serious. Because for me to sit on that stool and look in my baby's eyes, to know that they don't really know what I'm saying, but they will know that when you start something, finish it, man. And I was proud I finished that in front of my kids. Great question. Great question. Yeah.
How can I be like you?
Oh. I said this earlier, right? This is for the whole crowd. This is what happens when you really impact kids, right? Because they're from the purest mindset ever, right? Adults, we set in our ways, but kids say things, and and how you can be like me, honestly, I will never stop honoring and respecting my mom. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, it's all I know. Having conversations with God, I'm going to do that every second of my life, regardless of religion. And working hard, I believe working hard, effort is between you and you. So every day of your life, make yourself better every day in your life. And let the game take care of itself. Being like me is ultimately just being a better man. Yeah, good question. Yeah. Yeah.
Your biggest fan, what would you say if I inspired you and you inspired me by playing with the Ravens in Holotinata?
How did Holotinata inspire me?
Yeah.
Wow. Holotinata was probably he was one of the ones that I took as a baby. And I love, because I fought for him, right? If anybody knew Baltimore's history, you know, we was playing with some people in front of me that was good, but I needed some heavier people in front of me to keep people off me. So I fought for Lodi in the draft, which was interesting. But when he came, me and Lodi is probably the best of friends. He was the one I really took time with and spent a lot of time with. So I love loving guys like him. So he was a blessing to my life playing. Yeah, great question. Yeah.
You have any future advice for a middle linebacker?
Yeah. I can look at your body right now, like just your shoulders and stuff, right? And in 9th grade, I once looked like you. And I tell you this to this day, it ain't the weight room that's going to get you where you need to go. It's push-ups and sit-ups every night of your life. Don't let nobody fool you, right? I'm in discussion, right, of being one of the greatest whoever. I'm just telling you how to be the better you. But man, every night, I pass out doing push-ups and sit-ups. Like I love weight room is easy for me because I'm internally strong, right? If you can master your own body weight, look at Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker's never lifted a weight in his life. All he does is push-ups and sit-ups. So when you talk about being a real middle linebacker, two things you got to do. You got to jump on your push-ups and sit-ups, and then I'm going to give you this because you can understand as a middle linebacker. Always play the game pissed off. What was the best lesson I learned from playing football? Yeah, that the game don't make you, you make the game. Yeah. Remember, a lot of people do. Remember the movie Gladiator? Yeah, remember the Gladiator, right? And remember when Marcus Aurelius asked, Maximus asked Marcus Aurelius, what do I do? He said, win the crowd, and you win your freedom. I won my crowd, so it freed me. So I started playing the game free. I was so free in my mind playing the game, man. Like, I was like, okay. My mom got ready to beat me up one day because I was coming home from a game and I was so mad. The whole car was disturbed because I was mad that we had just lost a game that I couldn't control. Nobody would say nothing in the car. Nobody would speak. And my mom looked at me and she pulled me outside the garage and she said, do you see how you affect this whole family when you come home mad because of a loss? She said, did you do your job? I said, yes. She said, did you give everything you have? I said, yes. She said, well, then let it go. And that changed my perspective forever. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Great questions. Great questions. Yeah. Right here, you.
I grew up watching you in the backyard playing at Bingham. Some of you guys know Bingham, screaming and yelling all the time. And I felt like I always had that energy, and I always had you in the back of my mind. But now that I coach the game and I teach it, is there anything that you can give me that I can take back to my kids so that they could be just as inspired as I was?
Yeah. Be more of a father than a coach. Love them more. Touch them more. Make them feel you. All right? So it's kind of what I started to do with my players who really started to love each other because it became a brotherhood, right? But it became off touch. Men don't touch often, right? You know, we so manly, you know, we want to stay away from each other in that game. But kids need that. Kids need you to walk behind them on the back and say, good job, boy, right? Even if it's not a great job, good job. You know, I did this conference not too long ago, and that's how I was trying to tell coaches that we are so pulled away from kids and so detached because of winning, right? Everything's about winning, and if a kid mess up, it's the nature of the game. You're going to mess up, but it's the love that you give them that will always keep them remembering you, because I promise you that's why my head coach, my high school head coach, who became my father figure, I love him like a father because of the way he used to touch me. Yeah, great question. Yeah, brother. You. Oh, you waiting for the mic.
Ray, thank you for being here,
Yeah.
And everything that you represent. With so many kids and adults in the audience, what can you tell them on what it takes to embrace the call that is over their life?
Wow. Man, I kind of said this earlier, regardless of religion, I don't get into whatever people's religions are. I'm non-denomination. I live as a very free spirit. I love God with all of my heart. I was raised Baptist. But when I tell you that it has to be something greater than us, right? It has to be something greater than what man creates and all of the fancy things that man gives us, right? It always amazes me how every gadget, every new thing that man creates, right? God says that when you become a newborn creature, you start to look up. You start to look towards the heavens, right? But every device that man creates makes us look here. So it puzzles me on how the direction on where we're really trying to go is always faded. So when you really start paying attention to direction, you got to start paying attention to what distracts you. And that's what kids got to start understanding. What distracts you, because most things that distracts you keeps you from forming the right relationship with a higher power. Because something is controlling you way more, right? If I grab 10 kids out of this audience, they can show me how to use a cell phone, they can show me how to use a computer, they can show me how to go on Twitter, they can show me all that. But if I say cook, clean, iron, fold, make up your own bed, wash the dishes, they ain't doing that. and so it's on us. I just believe, as parents, man, I just believe it's really on us to take the distractions away. Every one of my kids come in my house at 10 p.m. every night. I need every cell phone on my dresser. You don't have nobody that important to talk to after 10, unless they paying your bills. So it's little things like that, sitting at the kitchen table. Don't bring your phone to the table. I don't even know what you and your friends talking about. You're going to sit down and have dinner and have breakfast with us at the table. Talk to your family. I just think the interactions about understanding what spirituality really is, it ain't based off a religion. It's based off who you are, who you stand for. And that's why I think giving them direction will give that totally back to them. Great question, bro. Great question, man. Great question. Oh, my gosh, all the way in the back. Hold on, he going to bring you the mic. You cute. So, like Home Alone 3 kid.
What do you strive for in life?
What
do you strive for in life?
Man, what do I strive for in life? Now in life, I really strive I want my kids to one day remember their father as the man that I am. Like I live for my kids, man. I don't know too many things that excites me anymore outside of being there for a track meet or dance recital or whatever it is. It's the interactions I think with my kids is really what I look forward to in life, because that's it at the end of the day, right? Money gonna come and go, but there's nothing better than, like, if you was my kid, I would just hug you all freaking day. Great question. Straight in the back. A few more, and then I'm good. Okay, one, got it.
I just want to say thank you for being out here and giving me the chance to meet my hero and giving me one of the greatest gifts I could ever receive. And I was wondering if I could give you my necklace so you have something to remember Utah by, and to remember that you inspire so many more people than you really know.
Yes, you can give it to me.
Can I go right now?
Yeah. We're gonna take 2 more questions. Huh? ring. Child, you gotta leave them things home, folks. When you travel a lot be going on. Hey, thank you so much, man. No, thank you so much. You be good, all right? Take care of yourself. All right? Pleasure to meet you. Absolutely. It's funny that most things people give me like this on my dresser, on my room. I have, oh my God, thousands of pieces that people have given me. And it's so funny because every interaction I can go directly to and tell who gave it to me. And it's just unique when you have an influence over people like that. Okay, 2 more questions. Yes. Now you got on a Colin Kaepernick jersey. This gonna test me. Okay, go ahead. He young.
Who's your favorite football player of all time?
Wow, who was my favorite football player of all time? When I was growing up? Woo. That's a tough question. No, but it's tough, but it's not as hard as I'm making it. My favorite football player probably of all time is probably Ronnie Lott. He did something to me. Yeah, he inspired me. Yeah, Pop's in the back. What Pop say? Go get Pop that mic. Hold on, Pop, I can't hear you. Huh? No, I can't. I'm good now, but
I was saying, can you come over to the Golden Gloves boxing match tomorrow evening and say a few words to the young boxers over there? They look up to you tremendously, and I think you'll be a great inspiration and have a great impact on them. That's tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Say yes.
Pops, listen, I would love to.
Okay, then it's done.
But hold on. Pops, my flight leave at 11 o'clock tonight. I got to go speak in New York in a day. I can possibly figure out a way to come back. That's all. That's what I really can promise.
Okay,
Can
that'll
I do that?
be great.
All right.
That'll be great.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You always got to respect your elders now. You got to respect your elders. One more question, we're going. I'm going to come to you. I'm going to come to you, green shorts. I'm going to come to you next. One more. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, right here.
What's your mindset from coming back from an injury?
Yeah, like I said, I kind of spoke about that, earlier. I just always think injuries are a way that you can really spend a lot of time with yourself. A lot of people say, why me? Sometimes I say, why not me? Right? Sometimes when you go through things like that, man, you always want to say, instead of saying, you know what? Maybe it's a time for me to sit down, right? I just told you the story about my tricep, right? If I don't sit down for this injury, we may not win that Super Bowl, right? So some things have to align up for things to happen. So I really take surgeries, I really take the time off as a real opportunity to heal myself totally all the way around. That's the best way I really deal with it. All the way in the back, and I'm out. Go ahead, baby. Oh, these kids so cute.
What's your favorite book?
So, like, besides the Bible, what's a book or an author that's really spoke to you?
Oh, my gosh. I read it 7 times. It's called A Purpose-Driven Life. Yeah, Rick Warren. I read that book 7 times, and it's a 40-day, if you haven't tried it, it's a 40-day journal, and, wow, I'm making Rick some money. But, so it's a 40-day journal, and it challenges you every day to practice on just principles that we throw away a lot of times because work, kids, family, whatever it is. But that book for me, I tell you, that book forever changed my life on the way I started to view every day, every second of every day. Listen, thank you guys so much. Seriously. Thank you enough. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Always. I'll see Utah again.